So, what's up, y'all? Morton Joe 245 here, and today we're taking a look at Faker, so stay tuned.
By the power of Grayskull.
Okay, so this is the Origins Faker, and which this figure I believe was released in 2022, maybe 2023. I can't remember which exactly because it don't say on the card there. But now Faker, as you can see, is supposed to be the robotic clone of He-Man, even though you can obviously tell the difference on which one's actually the real He-Man. But we'll get into that here a little bit later. But so let's start off with the packaging first. So here's the packaging for Faker. As you can see, it's basically the standard card for the Origins figure. As you can see, not much different except there's no new for 21 or 22 logo on here, or new for 20. And so you flip this around, you got the very vintage back with all the other figures on there. And so you can see that's a very 2000X colored Evelyn right there too, by the way. Which unfortunately I don't have that version, but I do have the vintage style Evelyn. But as you can see, I'll tell you the articulation, how the armor removes and everything. We'll demonstrate that a little bit later. And see, so that's not much to say about the packaging. It's just very standard. Here is the mini comic this figure comes with, which all the figures in the wave come with the same mini comic. This is actually the only one I got. This one's actually using my display one, because I have extra ones I don't have on display. I actually keep with all my extra accessories and extra hands and stuff, so I know where they're at when I do reviews, because I usually use it spared. But like I said, this is the only one I had, so I had to go pull it off my display. But as you can see, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, just kind of show you, but as you can see, very vintage, with the mini comic. You see on the back, it's got the same kind of thing like the vintage ones had, or the later vintage ones, I should say. The early vintage ones were a little bit different on the back, but that's pretty cool. Faker's only accessory, if you don't count his armor, is his iconic orange power sword here, and as you can see, this is a very Alcala style power sword. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the vintage accessory to compare this to. As you can see, it's basically the same sword that came with the Anti-Turtle He-Man, just orange, because the first He-Man came with the half sword like the vintage figure, and this is the whole sword. And he can hold it, but as you can see, he does get a little bit of better grip than Keldor got on his. But as you can see, pretty cool. Yeah, it kind of helps finish off the look of Faker. So for articulation, Faker's articulation is not much different from the others. He's got a ball jointed head, got a hinge at his shoulder, and a hinge at his elbow there. He's got a hinge at the wrist, a swivel at the waist. He's got a good range of motion at the thigh, a bend at the knee, a swivel at the boot, and a hinge and a ankle pivot. Okay, so basically, Faker is basically just, you see both figures here I got here is He-Man Skeletor, and Faker, really is just a repaint of He-Man, minus the different head over there. Now the vintage figure, and He-Man were exactly the same. That Origins He-Man, that very first He-Man had a different head, which I prefer the head that's on Faker. That's just my opinion. But which they did later release that head in the normal He-Man colors. But as you can see, the bodies for He-Man and Faker are exactly the same, and he also reuses Skeletor's armor there, as you can see, just in orange. So basically, just all they did was recolor He-Man and give him orange Skeletor armor. So, that means for the sculpt design and color Faker, I really don't have to go over it very much, because I really done went over this body with He-Man and also Anti-Turtle He-Man. So, it's exactly the same, but except for one difference. So as you can see, Faker has a sticker, or not sticker, but like a control panel like on his chest there, which was originally a sticker, but this version is actually painted on there, which is actually an improvement over the vintage figure, because the vintage figure with stickers. So as you can see there is the vintage one compared to the new one. As you can see, the vintage one is a sticker, while the new one is a painted on detail, which, like I said, being painted on is a little bit of improvement, because that vintage sticker wants to come off, and and you find it oftentimes missing. So that's actually a little bit of an improvement over the vintage one. So as you can see, the rest of Faker here is essentially just the same as what I've already went over before with He-Man and Anti-Turtle He-Man, so I don't have to go over this a whole lot. For comparison time, here is this new Origins Faker compared to his vintage counterpart, and as you can see, it's basically an updated version of that vintage figure. Like I said, personally, I prefer the vintage one, but because I just like the old ones better. What I grew up with, playing with. Just a lot of memories. And but these new ones do a good job of replicating them old ones. And like I said, they do have improvements too. Like the sticker on the original one's chest is now painted detail on the new one. So like I said, that's a pretty big improvement over that vintage figure. And here he is compared to the Master First Revelation Faker. Now that Faker, was based off of the way he appeared in the Revelation series. So that's why he looks a lot different than the vintage toy. And which that version of Faker was kind of based off of the original Formation version, which looked identical to He-Man, except he just had glowing eyes, which makes more sense because Faker is supposed to be a clone of He-Man, and as you can see with all these wild colors, it's obviously tell the difference that that's not He-Man. So what I think of this figure overall, like the vintage figure, this is a very lazy figure. It required no effort at all. This was a very easy and inexpensive way for Mattel to make a new villain. But with that being said, though, I really do like Faker. Faker is actually one of my favorite characters, and I do really like this new figure. Like I said, I personally prefer the vintage one. Just for nostalgic reasons. But these new ones are pretty cool figures. And have a lot better articulation. And because the newer generation the same memories we had with the vintage ones. So this video and give me a thumbs up to help me out a lot. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.